from Starliner Music. Welcome to my channel. Today in fingerboard geometry, we're going to look at diminished triad inversions on strings 3, 4, and 5. First, we'll look at the inversion fingerings. Then we'll look at some harmonized scale examples, and then we'll go on to the exercises. Here we go. So today in fingerboard geometry, we're going to look at diminished triad inversions on strings 3, 4, and 5. If you're unaware of the construction of diminished triad, you might want to go back and check out some of my earlier videos on the subject. Otherwise, the diminished triad consists of a root, a minor third, and a diminished fifth. So we're going to look at the inversions on this string set first, and then we'll try some harmonized scale studies with the inversions. Let's start with the root D. So I'm starting with root position D diminished. And this is root, minor third, and diminished fifth. So that is my D diminished in root position. Then I have first inversion, which means we have the third in the bottom. So we have minor third, flat 5 in root. And then finally, we're going to put the flat 5 in the bottom. So this is second inversion. Diminished fifth, root, and minor third. Now let's try this for the root C. So now we're going to do first inversion C. So I have minor third, flat 5, and root. So this is C diminished. And then second inversion C diminished. And then root position C diminished. Finally, let's try G diminished. I'm going to start with second inversion here. So I have the diminished fifth as the lowest note, so flat 5, root, and minor third. Then we have root position, root, minor third, and flat 5. And then finally, we have first inversion, minor third, flat 5, and root. Now that we've looked at fingerings for diminished triads, let's try some inversion studies using the harmonized scale. So I'm going to start out with my harmonized scale study in the key of D. So the harmonized scale means the scale in chords, and we're going to do a root position study to start. That means all the chords will have the root as the lowest note. So in the key of D, we're going to start on the one chord. That would be D major. And so this is D major in root position. Then we're on to the 2 chord. That is E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major is the 5 chord. We have a B minor is the 6 chord, and the 7th chord, of course, is diminished. So here's our C sharp diminished. And then I'm going to play D an octave higher. So that's the key of D. Now, if you don't understand the fingering for any of these triads, you might want to review some of my videos where I cover both major and minor inversions on the string set. Now we're going to continue in the key of D with first inversion. This time I'm going to start with first inversion G. Now G is the 4 chord, but I'm starting as close as I can to the nut. So this is a first inversion G chord. That means the third's in the bass, so this is G in first inversion. So that's my 4. Here's my 5 chord, A, first inversion. And then I have my 6 chord, that's B minor. And then I have my 7 chord C sharp diminished in first inversion. And then I have my 1 chord and my 2 chord and my 3 chord. It's F sharp minor, and then I'm back to my 4 chord G an octave higher. Now let's go on to the second inversion key of D. For second inversion, I'm going to start on the 3 chord F sharp minor. So we have F sharp minor, 3, and then we have 4. That's in second inversion, that's the G. 5 chord A in second inversion, 6 chord B minor, C sharp diminished, and I have D, then I have E minor, that's my 2, and then I'm back an octave higher on the 3 chord, F sharp minor. Now let's get a look at the exercises. Okay, for the exercises, we're going to do pretty much what we just did. We're going to be playing 3 inversions of a harmonized scale. So in order to select your scale root, you might either use the circle of fourths or fifths, or you could use a musical die and just roll for the root. So these are handy to randomize your practice. I'm going to demonstrate this exercise on the root G, so that's the key of G. And then in the exercises, we'll do a couple of different keys just to get you started. So now, the key of G, I'm going to start on the 4 chord C. And I'm trying to start as close to the nut as I can. So this is root position, so I'm going to start on C, and this will use an open string. So this is my C chord, and then that's my 4. Then I have the 5 chord, then the 6 chord, the 7 chord, 1 chord, 2 chord, and the 3 chord, and back to the 4 chord C. So now I go and do this again. This time I'm going to start on the 1 chord, that's G, and I'm in first inversion. So first inversion G, I got open strings here. So G, that's 1, A minor is 2, B minor is 3, C in first inversion is 4, 5 is D, 6 we have E minor, 7 we have our F sharp diminished, so, and then we're back to G. And finally, we'll do our second inversion triad, so I'll stay in the key of G and start on the 7th chord in second inversion, so that's F sharp diminished. And then I'm on to the 1 chord, 2 chord is A minor, 3 chord is B minor, 4 chord is C, 5 chord is D, 6 chord is E minor, and I'm back to the 7 chord again, F sharp diminished. Now, let's get a look at the exercises. That's it for Diminished Triads on strings 3, 4, and 5. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.